This is Michael Hale from Red Zone Radio, and we have breaking news coming in this morning. Multiple emergency bulletins are being issued across the country about what authorities are calling an unusual and still unidentified situation unfolding in the skies over several major American cities. Right now, details are incomplete, reports are conflicting, and to be completely honest with you, a lot of this still sounds hard to believe. We're hearing about large objects over Washington, D.C., New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. We do not know what they are, we do not know where they came from, and at this hour, nobody in government seems willing to say much of anything.
We've been getting flooded with messages for the last 20 minutes. Some people are saying this is a military exercise, some are saying it's a terrorist threat, some are saying it's fake, hacked footage, some kind of mass hoax. But too many people in too many places are reporting the same thing at the same time.
Let's keep our heads on straight. That's the most important thing right now. We are not going to jump on every wild theory flying around social media. We're going to tell you what we know, what we don't know, and what people are seeing with their own eyes. That's it.
The FAA has now issued a nationwide ground stop. Let me repeat that, a nationwide ground stop. Commercial flights across the country are being halted. That is real. That is confirmed. Airports are pausing departures while federal authorities assess what they are calling a developing airspace event.
And if you're just tuning in, the part that's throwing everybody right now is the scale of this. We're not talking about one strange object over one city. We're talking about multiple reports from major population centers all within what sounds like the same hour. We've got listeners saying the objects are hovering, not moving, not making noise, and not showing up in any way that makes sense to people who know aircraft.
NORAD has reportedly raised its alert level, but there is still no official confirmation that this is a foreign threat. The Pentagon has not commented. The White House has reportedly been evacuated as what they're calling a precautionary measure. Again, that's the wording being used, precautionary measure.
Which could mean anything. Could mean standard procedure, could mean they don't know what's going on, could mean they know exactly what's going on and don't want the public getting ahead of them. We don't know.
We've also got a lot of reports about electronics acting strangely, phones freezing, TVs flickering, car radios cutting in and out, people saying their smart devices rebooted all at once.
Let's go to the phones. We've got our first caller on the line in Manhattan. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Michael, I'm standing on West 81st right now, and I swear to God, this thing is over Central Park. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds insane, but it is there, and everybody out here is just standing in the street, looking up.
All right, take a breath. Tell me exactly what you're seeing.
It's huge. I don't know how else to say it. It's the size of, I don't know, like 3 football fields maybe bigger. And it's not moving. It's just hanging there. No sound, no lights blinking like a plane, no smoke, no engines, nothing. It's just there.
Is it metallic? Is it transparent? What does it look like?
Dark, like brushed metal maybe, but not shiny. It almost looks wrong in the air, like your eyes can't tell how far away it is. I'm looking at it and I keep thinking maybe it's clouds around it or some kind of shadow, but then it shifts just enough and you realize it's solid.
And what are people around you doing?
Recording it, crying. A few people are yelling that this is the government. One guy said it's China. Another woman said it's the end of the world. Nobody knows. Traffic's getting bad because cars are just stopping in the street. I can hear sirens everywhere now.
Serious. Any helicopters? Any police response nearby?
I saw one helicopter maybe 10 minutes ago, and it turned away. It didn't even get close. That's what scared me more than the thing itself. It's like they don't want to approach it.
Stay safe, stay indoors if you can, and keep your phone on if it'll let you. We appreciate the call.
Michael, this thing is so big it's blocking the sun in parts of the park. I need you to tell people this is real.
We hear you. Thank you.
You can hear it in people's voices, even when they're trying to stay calm. There's that edge there.
There is, but big unusual object in the sky doesn't automatically mean what the internet wants it to mean. It means there's an object in the sky, and authorities aren't talking yet.
Except now we've got the same descriptions from Los Angeles and DC. A lot of the videos we're seeing show the same basic shape, massive disc-like silhouettes just hovering there.
And motionless. That's the part I can't get past. Even military aircraft drift, balloons drift, drones move. These things are reportedly staying fixed.
We've got another caller, this time from Queens. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Jenny, I was driving on the Long Island Expressway when everybody started slowing down. Thought it was an accident. Then I look over Manhattan and there's this shape just sitting there. And my radio started cutting out, not just music stations, everything. Static, then these weird pops.
Were you able to keep driving?
Barely. My dashboard lit up for a second, like the electronics glitched. The GPS froze, my phone lost signal. Then it came back for maybe 30 seconds, and my wife texted me, "Do not go into the city." That's all she sent.
Are police directing traffic anywhere?
Not really. It's chaos, but not screaming chaos yet. More like people don't know if they're supposed to run or just keep going to work. I'm seeing people in suits standing outside their cars taking videos. Nobody understands what kind of emergency this is.
That sounds like what we're hearing everywhere. A lot of hesitation, a lot of disbelief, like everybody's waiting for someone official to explain it.
Yeah, and nobody is. That's the weird part. If this was Russia or something, wouldn't they say that? If it was a military drill, wouldn't they say that? Why is nobody saying anything?
That's the question everybody has right now.
Jenny, my son's school just texted parents saying pickup may be delayed due to emergency airspace restrictions. How does the sky stop kids from getting out of school?
I wish I had a better answer for that. Stay in touch with them. Stay off the roads if traffic worsens. And thank you for calling.
All right, so to recap, confirmed nationwide ground stop, confirmed increased military activity, confirmed evacuation of the White House as a precaution, and confirmed multiple large unidentified aerial objects over several major cities.
Social media is splitting in all directions right now. The top theories at the moment seem to be foreign adversaries, some kind of classified U.S. weapons demonstration, holographic warfare, mass hacking, you name it.
Holograms that shut down the national air system? I doubt it. But something is happening. Let's not insult our own listeners by pretending nothing's going on.
We also have reports that local TV stations near the objects are experiencing interference. Some anchors are being forced off air for short stretches, then coming back.
Let's take another call. We've got Brooklyn on the line.
Michael, I work in a high-rise downtown, and our office got told to move away from the windows. Nobody would tell us why. Then a guy from security finally admitted there was an aerial hazard over Lower Manhattan.
Aerial hazard is a pretty wild phrase to hear on a workday morning.
Exactly. And then half the office ran to the windows anyway. We could see something out there, farther south, not over us exactly, but close enough to make people panic. Elevators got jammed because everybody tried leaving at once.
Did anyone from the city contact the building directly?
Just building management. They said stay calm, avoid speculation, wait for official instructions. That is not helping. People are crying in the break room. One woman says her husband is military, and he texted her, "Turn on the radio and stay inside."
That is the first secondhand mention we've heard today from someone tied to military personnel telling family to shelter. We can't verify the broader meaning of that, but it's worth noting.
Michael, if this was normal, people wouldn't be acting like this.
I think a lot of people agree with you right now. Get home if you can do it safely. Thank you for calling.
We've got one more before the break and updates. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm a truck driver just outside Newark. I've been listening to all this and I don't buy aliens or anything stupid like that. But I'll tell you this much. I've driven by military convoys before and I just saw 3 jets go over at a speed and direction that did not look routine.
Heading toward the city?
Looked like it, but they weren't going at the object. More like circling out wide, like they were keeping their distance.
That lines up with other reports. We're hearing jets scrambled but not engaging.
And why not? That's what I want to know. What are they seeing that makes them stay back?
That may be the most important question of the hour.
I've got 2 kids at home, and my wife just asked if she should go shopping and stock up. I laughed at her 10 minutes ago. I'm not laughing now.
If you're already safe where you are, staying put may be smarter than getting caught in rising traffic. That's just common sense right now. Appreciate your call.
We are approaching the top of the hour, and things are not getting clearer, they are getting stranger. Pentagon silent, White House evacuated, air traffic grounded, large unidentified objects above multiple cities, electronics interference spreading, and a country staring at the sky waiting for someone to explain the impossible in plain English.
We'll stay with this. We're not going anywhere.
We are back on Red Zone Radio. If you're just joining us, what began as scattered reports of massive unidentified objects over major American cities has turned into something far more alarming. In the last 20 minutes, multiple national news outlets have confirmed that fighter jets were scrambled near Washington, D.C. and other locations. But here's the part that should trouble everyone listening. There are now reports those aircraft were unable to effectively engage or even approach the objects in a meaningful way.
We're hearing from defense analysts on television and from former military personnel calling in that these objects are moving in ways that do not match known aircraft. There are reports of impossible right-angle turns, sudden acceleration, and changes in altitude so extreme that commentators are openly saying the physics make no sense.
Nobody in government has used the word. People online are already screaming. Nobody official has said alien. Nobody official has even said hostile craft. The phrase still being used in press language is unidentified phenomenon. That phrase is not calming anybody down.
It shouldn't. Not now. Not when the number of cities seeing these objects has reportedly climbed to 15. That's across multiple time zones. You can't explain that away as one bad radar return or one experimental aircraft.
We also have our first confirmed reports of emergency broadcast systems being activated in multiple states. They're brief, they're vague, they're mostly telling people to remain calm and await further instructions, but emergency systems do not activate across state lines because of rumors.
Global markets are tanking. There was panic selling in Asia. Europe followed, and now the opening here is being described as a bloodbath. Financial panic is spreading almost as fast as the videos.
Let's go to the phones. We've got a caller from Virginia. You're on the air.
Michael, my husband is with the Air Force. I'm not going to say his name, I'm not going to say the base, but I need people to understand this is not normal. He got one text out to me maybe 40 minutes ago. Just one. He said, "We can't lock onto them."
When he said lock onto them, did he mean targeting systems?
Yes, that's exactly what he meant. He flies. He said their systems wouldn't engage properly. He said something about the radar behaving like the targets were there and not there at the same time. I don't know what that means. He just wrote, "Nothing works right."
Did he say whether they were fired upon?
No, and I asked him if he was okay, and the message wouldn't send. Then all my service bars disappeared, then came back, then disappeared again.
Was this before or after reports of the intercept attempt over D.C.?
Around the same time, I think. He said one of the objects moved in a way he had never seen in his life. He said it turned 90 degrees without slowing down. Michael, my husband doesn't scare easy. The way he wrote that message, I've never seen him like that.
That's a chilling detail. And again, we cannot verify every aspect of a private message, but it aligns with a lot of what's being reported in official adjacent language right now.
He also wrote, "If they tell the public it's a foreign adversary, don't believe that." That's what he said. That was the last thing.
Understood. Thank you for calling, and we hope you hear from him soon.
That's the first call we've taken where the fear wasn't just about what people saw. It was about what trained military personnel apparently couldn't do.
Right. There's a difference between an unknown object and an unknown object you cannot target, cannot predict, and maybe cannot even properly track.
We've got breaking reports that scientists on multiple cable networks are now openly saying the movement patterns being described would crush any known human pilot and exceed the engineering tolerances of modern aircraft. One physicist just called it a rejection of known aerodynamic behavior.
Which is a polished way of saying this should not be possible.
Exactly.
Let's go to another call. We've got someone from Chicago. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Jenny, I work in IT at a hospital network. We had this weird event like 15 minutes ago where several monitors in one wing all flickered with the same static pattern. Then a patient TV switched from a news channel to some kind of black screen with white shapes on it for maybe 2 seconds.
White shapes? Like text? Symbols?
Symbols, maybe. Not letters I recognized. Could have been a glitch, except multiple devices did it at once.
And where are you in relation to one of the objects?
West side of the city. People on the roof say they can see one above downtown. Everyone's acting like we're supposed to keep doing our jobs while this thing just hangs over us.
That sounds surreal.
It is surreal. We've got patients asking if they should be evacuated, staff trying to call family, and the administration telling us to wait for city guidance. One nurse just said, "What guidance? From who?" That's the mood.
Have you seen any direct attack or movement from the object?
No, that's what's weird. It's just there, but somehow that's worse. If it was attacking, you'd at least know the shape of the danger. This is like being watched.
That phrase keeps coming up. Watched.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Appreciate the call. Stay safe.
That hospital caller said something important there. The stillness is creating as much fear as any obvious aggression would, maybe more, because people are filling in the silence with their own worst ideas.
We do have some new information. Reports from Nevada now indicate a military facility suffered what's being described as a total systems disablement after a beam or directed burst of energy was seen from above. We want to be careful here. Early reporting says no casualties, no explosion in the conventional sense, but the entire site went dark.
A bloodless shutdown of a military site. If that report holds up, that means we are looking at technology capable of disabling hardened infrastructure remotely and precisely.
Which raises a terrible question. If they can do that to a base, what can they do to a city?
Let's hold that question for 1 second because we have another call. Manhattan again. Go ahead.
Michael, I'm in Midtown, and people are saying smaller things are coming out of the big one. I haven't seen them clearly myself, but I saw movement underneath it, like shapes dropping down and then stopping.
Stopping in the air?
Yes, not falling, not flying like helicopters, just separating and hovering lower.
Are other people around you saying the same thing?
Yes, everyone's filming. A man next to me has binoculars, and he said there are smaller craft, maybe dozens. Some people are screaming now because one of them moved between buildings so fast it looked like it disappeared.
Any emergency response on the ground?
Police cars, sirens, but they don't seem to know where to send anybody. Nobody's looking up long enough to seem in control. Everybody's looking scared.
Understood. Get indoors if you can. Thank you.
Smaller craft emerging from larger structures. That has now come in from multiple cities. It's not yet confirmed by officials, but it's becoming harder to ignore as a pattern.
Everything is becoming a pattern now. Simultaneous appearances, failed intercepts, electronics disturbance, smaller objects, military systems compromised. It's like the country is being handed clues faster than it can process them.
We've got another caller. Go ahead, you're on Red Zone.
Jenny, I'm outside Dallas, and I just want to say what everybody's afraid to say. This ain't Russia. This ain't China. This ain't us. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's so far ahead of us. It's embarrassing.
A lot of people are beginning to feel that way. What did you see?
My brother works at a regional airport. They cleared everything, every runway, every plane. Then military birds came through, and everybody thought, okay, here we go, they're going to handle it. 10 minutes later, the jets are pulling back, and the thing above the city is still just hanging there like it owns the place.
That would shake anybody's confidence.
It did. People stopped joking after that. All the macho stuff, all the America's got this, that started fading. Folks are standing in parking lots, staring at their phones like they're waiting for somebody to tell them what world they live in now.
That's one of the most accurate descriptions I've heard all day.
My kid asked me if the stars were coming down. I didn't know what to tell him.
I'm sorry. Thank you for calling.
That line's going to stay with me. Waiting for somebody to tell them what world they live in now. Because that's what this feels like. Familiar streets, familiar cities, but the rules don't seem familiar anymore.
And government language still hasn't caught up. We are now over an hour into an event affecting major cities worldwide, and still no straight explanation.
The fact that they're avoiding certain words tells me one of two things. Either they genuinely don't know what this is and are terrified of saying the wrong thing, or they know exactly how bad it sounds and they're buying time. All right. Quick pause before we get back into the story.
Yeah, and honestly, we just wanted to say thank you. Seriously, every single person listening right now helps keep Red Zone Radio alive.
These stories take a crazy amount of time to make, and because of YouTube policies, sometimes we can't even tell the stories the way we really want to.
So that's kind of why we made our Patreon. Over there, we upload uncensored, ad-free, full-length stories way more often. No cuts, no holding back, just the raw apocalypse and outbreak content you came here for.
If you're the type who likes putting headphones on late at night and getting completely lost in another world for hours, that's really what Patreon is built for.
And members also get early access to upcoming videos before they hit YouTube. Plus, people in the community can suggest story ideas that could actually become future episodes.
We'll still keep dropping free stories here every week, no matter what. That's not changing.
So, if you've ever wished these stories were longer, darker, more raw, and completely uninterrupted, that's exactly what's waiting on Patreon. So, link is down below.
All right, radio's back on.
We've got a report now that emergency alerts are urging people not to approach the unidentified objects, not to gather in large crowds outdoors, and to limit unnecessary travel.
That means city officials are starting to treat proximity as a hazard, even if they won't describe the nature of that hazard.
Which means the public's fear is no longer irrational. It's catching up to reality.
We are back, and everything has changed again. If you stepped away from the radio for even a few minutes, here is what you need to know. The unidentified objects over major cities are no longer just hovering in silence. In the last half hour, televisions, phones, computers, public screens, and digital billboards across the world were reportedly hijacked simultaneously.
Not regionally, not city by city, worldwide. Times Square screens, living room televisions, airport monitors, phones in people's hands, laptop screens, office displays, all switching over at once to the same signal.
The first descriptions from listeners said it looked like rows of symbols, geometric shapes, something like writing, but not from any language people recognized. Then came the audio.
And if what experts are now saying is true, then whatever broadcast that message did it in a way that delivered itself in multiple languages at once. That should be impossible. There is no infrastructure on Earth that should be able to override every major communication system globally and tailor the message instantly in local language forms.
Yet millions of people are now saying they heard the same thing.
The wording being repeated from multiple sources is this: humanity has been observed. Compliance is required. Resistance is extinction.
I want to say that one more time, because if you're just hearing it for the first time, it sounds unreal. Humanity has been observed. Compliance is required. Resistance is extinction.
The president attempted to address the nation after that, but according to multiple outlets, the transmission was interrupted again before he could finish.
The United Nations has called an emergency session. World leaders are reportedly in active crisis contact, though what they think they can negotiate from this position, I don't know.
Satellite imagery is now showing massive structures in orbit. Not one, dozens. Large enough that even heavily filtered media language is starting to break. People are using the word mothership now. Quietly, carefully, but they're using it.
We're going to the phones. Manhattan Holler, you're on.
Michael, I was in a pharmacy when every screen just changed. Not just the TV by the register, everybody's phones, even the self-checkout screens. The whole place went silent. We all heard the message at the same time.
In English?
Yes, but a man near me was speaking Spanish, and he said his came through in Spanish. Another woman said hers sounded like Korean. Everyone was hearing it their own way. I don't understand how that's possible.
Did the message repeat?
3 times, I think. Then everything went black for a second. Then normal service came back, but nobody moved. The cashier just stood there crying.
What was the reaction once people understood what it said?
Panic, but quiet panic at first, like shock. A guy laughed because he thought it had to be a prank. Then somebody else said, "No one hacks the whole world at once." Then a woman dropped to her knees and started praying.
Have you noticed any change in the object over the city since the message?
It feels closer. I know that sounds crazy, but it feels closer. And there are more smaller craft moving around under it now.
Thank you. Stay safe.
That detail about everyone hearing the message in their own language is one of the most disturbing parts of this. It doesn't just imply power, it implies understanding. It implies study.
Humanity has been observed. That's not the kind of phrase you use when you just discovered somebody. That's the phrase of something that's been watching a long time.
Religious leaders are already speaking publicly. Some are calling it a test, some are calling it judgment, some are saying humanity must remain calm and united. Others are saying this is first contact, however hostile, and that panic will destroy us faster than anything else.
That's a nice sentiment. Hard to apply when orbit now apparently contains enough unknown structures to cast a shadow over every government on Earth.
We've got another call. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm in Jersey City, looking across, and I had binoculars. I know what I saw. There's movement inside one of the lower craft. Figures, like people, but too tall, too straight, too still.
You're saying you could actually see forms inside?
Briefly, it passed between buildings and sunlight hit some kind of surface. Maybe a window, maybe a shield, I don't know. But there were shapes in there. Humanoid, I guess, if I had to use a word. Definitely not empty.
That's the first direct eyewitness we've had reporting visible occupants. Could you make out any detail beyond outline?
Not much. Long limbs, maybe, bigger than a person. And all I could think was, they're not drones. Somebody's in there.
How are people reacting where you are?
Bad, real bad now. The joke energy is gone. You can feel when a crowd stops pretending things are okay. That happened about an hour ago.
Are people fleeing?
Trying to, but traffic is a mess, and some people are weirdly frozen, like they'd rather keep staring than accept what staring means.
Thank you for calling.
The psychological line is breaking now. That's what we're hearing over and over. Not just fear, the collapse of denial.
We've got reports that the emergency session at the UN is ongoing and that multiple nations attempted transmission back to the source of the message. So far, no response beyond the original statement.
Which wasn't really communication, if we're being honest. It was a demand.
Or a warning.
Let's take another call. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Michael, I'm in D.C., and I just want to say the city feels wrong. That's the only way I can explain it. Streets are full, sirens everywhere, but everybody's whispering. No one wants to say the word out loud.
Which word?
Alien. Nobody wants to say it because once you say it, all the old explanations die.
That's very well put. Have you seen the object over D.C. directly?
Yes, and there are jets way out around it, way out. They won't go near it. My brother works in government admin and texted us to leave downtown immediately. He wouldn't say why, just leave now.
Any official announcements on the ground there?
Not useful ones. A lot of maintain order, remain indoors, await instructions. Michael, no offense, but nobody knows who to trust when all the authorities sound like they're reading from half a page.
No offense taken. I think that frustration is national at this point.
When that message came through every screen in my building, people started realizing this wasn't an American emergency, this was a human emergency.
Thank you. That's exactly the scale people need to understand.
Not an American emergency. A human emergency. That's where we are now.
We've got one more caller in the segment. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm outside a church in the Bronx. There's like 50 people here, maybe more. Some came because the message scared them, some because they think this is the end, some because they don't want to be alone. I just wanted to say that out loud for anyone listening who thinks they're the only one losing it.
You're not. Not today.
A pastor just told everybody that fear makes people easier to control. I keep thinking about that line from the message, compliance is required. That doesn't sound like a greeting. That sounds like somebody who already thinks they own the conversation.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
If they're strong enough to hijack the whole world at once, then what are we supposed to do?
I don't know yet. Nobody honest can answer that right now. But staying informed, staying close to people you trust, and staying alive are not small things.
I appreciate that. People need to hear a human voice right now.
Thank you for calling.
That's maybe the deepest change in the last hour. We began with curiosity, then fear. Now people are looking for each other, for any sign they're not facing this alone.
And that may matter more than anything if things get worse.
We need to say something plainly here. The possibility that these are extraterrestrial in origin is no longer fringe speculation. It is now the only explanation broad enough to fit the available evidence without insulting your intelligence.
And even saying that out loud feels like stepping off a cliff.
It does. But reality doesn't care how absurd it sounds. We have moved from uncertainty into demonstration. In the last hour, the unknown force behind the objects over Earth has made something brutally clear. They possess the ability to neutralize global military power without conventional warfare, and they are doing it in full view of the world.
Reports from multiple countries now confirm that strategic military assets are being dismantled, disabled, or repositioned in ways no human force could achieve. Nuclear launch facilities in several countries are said to be completely inoperable, not destroyed, disabled, rendered useless.
That distinction matters. Whoever is doing this isn't lashing out blindly. This is targeted, controlled, measured, which may actually be more frightening.
We have video from coastal cities showing what appears to be an aircraft carrier lifted from the water and placed inland with almost surgical precision. No fireball, no sinking, just impossible relocation.
I cannot believe I just said that sentence on live radio and meant it literally.
Neither can I.
A new message has reportedly been transmitted to multiple governments through secured channels and leaked almost instantly. The deadline stated in that message is 24 hours. The demand: surrender all weapons or demonstrations will intensify.
Highways out of major cities are now locking up. We're seeing the beginning of mass civilian flight. And here in New York, every route out appears to be getting heavier by the minute.
Let's go to the phones. We have San Diego on the line. You're on Red Zone.
Michael, my brother is Navy. I'm near the harbor, and I saw something I will never forget as long as I live. The carrier wasn't destroyed. It was like it got picked up. That's the only way I can describe it. Picked up.
You saw it move?
Not the whole lift from start to finish, no. But people were screaming and pointing, and then there it was, not in the water anymore, tilted on land like some giant child had placed it there. Sailors were running out, hundreds of them, and nobody seemed burned or blown apart, just shocked.
So, whatever moved it did so without mass casualties.
That's what it looked like. It was terrifying because it was so precise, like they were saying, look what we can do, and look how little effort it takes.
That is exactly how it reads from here, too.
People are still trying to tell themselves that means maybe they don't want to hurt us. But, Michael, if someone can toss a warship onto dry land like that, what difference does intention make?
Very fair question. Thank you for calling.
That precision is almost more humiliating than destruction would have been. It turns the world's strongest militaries into props.
We've got another caller. I-95 corridor? Go ahead. Jenny, I've been stuck in traffic for almost 90 minutes, and I don't think we've moved more than half a mile. Every lane heading out is packed. The shoulder's packed. People are running out of gas. Some are getting out and arguing. Some are just sitting there, crying.
Where are you coming from?
Queens, trying to get my mother upstate. Thought we were being smart by leaving early. Turns out, everybody had the same idea.
Are authorities directing vehicles at all?
Barely. Some cops came through, but what are they going to do? There are too many people. And every few minutes, everybody gets out again because some new rumor spreads. Bridge is closed, tunnels shut, they're landing in Manhattan. Nobody knows what's true.
That uncertainty can get dangerous fast.
It already is. One guy just screamed that the military had surrendered, and 3 people tried to jump into the breakdown lane and almost hit someone. We are one bad rumor away from complete madness out here.
What do you see in the sky from where you are?
Smaller craft, moving north and south. Too fast, too smooth, not planes. Everybody stops talking when one passes over.
Stay with your mother, conserve fuel, and keep listening. Thank you.
That is the civilian side of this now. Not just fear of the unknown, but fear of each other under pressure. That's how breakdown begins.
We also have new reports that the Pentagon, the Kremlin, and other major defense headquarters are now being encircled or watched by smaller craft. Not attacked yet. Surrounded.
Which is another message. We can reach you whenever we want.
And the world's leaders are trying to negotiate. As of now, no public sign that those negotiations are being acknowledged beyond the countdown.
Let's go back to the phones. Manhattan caller, you're on.
Michael, the city is emptying and filling up at the same time, if that makes sense. Some people are trying to flee, others are trying to get home, and everyone's crossing paths in panic. I just saw a bus stop full of people staring at their phones because service is lagging and they can't reach anyone.
Any official transport announcements?
Subway service is erratic. Some stations are packed, some trains delayed. People are scared to go underground, but also scared to stay outside. There's no good choice. And every time one of those smaller craft comes low between buildings, the whole street ducks.
Are the larger objects still stationary?
Mostly, but I think one shifted lower about 20 minutes ago. Everybody saw it, and when it moved, you could hear the whole block react at once. Not screaming exactly, more like one giant inhale.
That's powerful. Thank you.
One giant inhale. That's what the country sounds like right now.
We've got one more call. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm in Atlanta. I just want to say people keep asking whether we should hope because they haven't wiped us out yet. And I don't think that's hope. I think that's a hostage mindset.
Explain what you mean.
If somebody points a weapon at you and carefully avoids pulling the trigger, that doesn't make them merciful. It means they want something. These things are knocking out nukes, moving carriers, surrounding capitals. That's not random violence. That's domination.
Hard truth, but probably accurate.
My wife keeps asking if we should leave the city. I keep asking, leave for where? If this is global, where exactly is outside of it?
That's the nightmare of this. There may not be an outside.
Then people need honesty, not PR language. If this is war, say war.
Thank you for calling.
He said the word. War. And I think more people are arriving there by the minute.
The trouble is, this still doesn't feel like any war humans know how to imagine. There's no front line, no air raid siren in the old sense, no enemy state, just total superiority hanging above every skyline.
And the 24-hour deadline now sits over humanity like a clock everyone can hear, but no one can stop. We are entering the darkest phase yet. Just moments ago, a joint statement from world leaders was released. It was brief. It was defiant. And it appears to have ended the last chance, if there ever was one, of this remaining only a threat display.
The statement, in essence, said humanity would not surrender. It said the nations of Earth would not hand over governance, sovereignty, or military control under coercion.
The response was immediate.
Military installations around the world are now being hit in coordinated strikes. U.S. bases, foreign bases, airfields, missile sites, communications hubs. The attacks are being described as precise and selective. So far, reports suggest the strikes are targeting military assets while avoiding civilian population centers.
Let's be clear. Avoiding civilians so far does not make this merciful. It makes it efficient. It makes it strategic. It means the thing attacking us knows exactly what it wants to remove first.
We are also hearing something else deeply unsettling. Personnel at some bases were apparently evacuated or cleared moments before the strikes hit, as if the attackers knew where every human being was located and chose not to kill them during this phase.
Which means they can see us, track us, sort us, maybe down to the individual.
Internet service is now collapsing in regions. Cell towers are overloaded. Entire data networks are blinking in and out. Millions are trying to call family, access news, map escape routes, and the systems are beginning to fail under the strain.
Let's go to the phones. We have a caller from North Carolina.
Michael, my husband's on base, or he was. I don't even know what to say anymore. He called me from his car about 10 minutes after they evacuated. He was crying, and I've never heard him cry. He said the whole place was gone behind him. Not burning, just erased.
Did he say what kind of strike it was?
He said there was light, not like fire, more like the air itself split open for a second. Buildings, hangars, vehicles, all gone. But everybody had already been ordered out because some kind of alert came through before it happened.
So, no casualties from the actual strike?
Not at his base, no. He kept saying, they let us leave, and that scared him more than if they hadn't.
Because it means the choice was theirs.
Exactly. And he said command had no answers, just orders, panic, and then silence. He tried to call again and the line died.
I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing that.
That phrase, they let us leave, that's going to haunt a lot of people.
Because it makes clear we are not fighting an enemy that's improvising. This is controlled dismantling.
Another call. Go ahead. You're on Red Zone.
Jenny, I work in Lower Manhattan, and the internet's gone in half the building. Cell signal's basically useless. Everybody's taking the stairs because nobody trusts elevators now. And there's this rumor that the power grid's being mapped.
By whom?
By them, I guess. The things overhead. People are saying infrastructure is next. Transportation, power, communication. First military, then control systems.
That would fit the pattern if the goal is occupation rather than annihilation.
That's what terrifies me. If they wanted us dead, maybe this would be simpler. But it feels like they want us intact enough to govern.
A lot of analysts are starting to say something similar.
We can't reach family. That's the worst part. It's not even the sky anymore. It's not knowing if your people are okay, because every network is collapsing right when you need it most. That's what breakdown sounds like. Thank you for calling.
We have more confirmation now that every major U.S. base was effectively neutralized within a very short window, less than an hour. Some reports say less than 30 minutes.
And not one successful counterstrike has been confirmed.
Let's go back to the phones. Queen's caller, you're on.
Michael, I can't get through to my daughter at college. I've tried every app, every number, nothing. And all around my neighborhood, people are out on stoops and sidewalks, asking if anyone has service. It feels like the whole city is standing outside listening for a sound that never comes.
Are there still craft overhead where you are?
Yes, smaller ones more than the big one now. They move slow sometimes, then vanish across the sky in a blink. I'm telling you, Michael, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not rushing. They're hurting us emotionally.
That is a very sharp observation. Do people around you seem angry, scared, resigned?
All of it. One man is yelling that we should fight. Another says, fight with what? A woman down the block is giving out bottled water because the bodega got cleared out. People are trying to become good neighbors and lose their minds at the same time.
That may be the most human sentence of the day. Thank you.
Good neighbors and losing their minds at the same time. Yeah, that's where we are.
We've got another call. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm a paramedic. We won't say where. We're not getting mass burn victims or blast trauma from the strikes. We're getting panic injuries, heart attacks, falls, car wrecks, people trampling each other trying to leave buildings. That's what this is doing.
So the direct military attacks are one thing, but the civilian body count may come from the fear itself.
Exactly. Hospitals are getting hammered, and we're still only in the first phase. You want to know what scares me? Not that they can kill us. It's that they understand us enough to break the systems around us and let us start breaking ourselves.
That is hard to hear, but important.
We've had dispatch glitches too. Screens freezing,
addresses disappearing, then coming back. If communications go all the way down, emergency response is done.
Thank you for what you're doing. Stay safe.
That paramedic just outlined the hidden front of this war. Not bombs in neighborhoods. Not yet. Systemic pressure, fear, overload, separation, confusion. A society can be broken without flattening it.
We also have the second ultimatum now circulating. The wording, according to multiple outlets, is this: surrender governance to transition authority, or civilian targets will be added.
Transition authority. That is not conquest language from old history. That's administrative language. Cold, bureaucratic, like they already see us as a problem set.
Which makes the next question unbearable. If civilian targets are next, what does that look like when the force threatening them can disable bases without firing a shot the way we understand it?
I don't know. But I know this. The world leaders chose defiance, and now humanity is officially in a war it is not prepared for.
Michael, can I say something honest?
Please.
I think everybody has been waiting for some proof that this would still somehow turn out to be less than what it looks like. Some explanation that would pull us back into the familiar world. I don't think that explanation is coming.
No, I don't think it is either. This is Red Zone Radio. We are continuing live coverage as the situation across the United States and the world deteriorates at a speed that is becoming difficult to describe without sounding unreal. If you have been with us from the beginning, then you know the pattern we've watched unfold. First the objects in the sky, then the message, then the disabling of military power, then the ultimatum to humanity. We are now in the next stage, and this one is no longer limited to military infrastructure.
We've just received multiple confirmations from separate sources that major city power grids are being shut down in sequence. Not damaged in the usual sense. Shut down. Entire sections of urban infrastructure are dropping offline with almost no warning. Manhattan has begun going dark in waves. We've got reports of block-by-block outages, subway failures, stalled signals, and communications interference rising with each blackout.
If you're in the city right now, you may already be experiencing that. If your radio is battery-powered, keep it close. If your phone still has power, conserve it. We have crossed into the phase where your devices may not remain dependable.
We also have what may be the first widespread eyewitness reports of actual extraterrestrial ground forces. Not just craft, not just shadows behind glass. Beings on the ground.
That sentence, even now, feels wrong coming out of my mouth. But at some point, reality stops asking permission to sound reasonable.
The first descriptions are consistent across multiple cities. Tall, bipedal, armored, deliberate movement. Weapons emitting some kind of controlled glow or field effect. Witnesses say they move with discipline, not frenzy. There is no mob energy to what they're doing. It feels organized, tactical, measured.
Which in some ways is worse. Panic can be understood. Chaos can be understood. This feels like procedure, like a force following a manual no human has read.
Congress has reportedly been evacuated through secured tunnel routes in Washington. The Capitol complex is under aerial watch. Smaller craft are moving in tight formations around strategic government locations, and there are reports that secure bunkers are being breached not by explosion, but by systems simply failing all at once.
Another deeply disturbing development: abductions. That word is now being used by credible sources. World leaders, military commanders, technical experts, scientists, people considered essential, removed from secured locations despite heavy protection, taken alive, no clear explanation of where. Hospitals are filling not from direct strikes, but from panic, exhaustion, trampling, cardiac events, road accidents, and injuries sustained during evacuation attempts. The public health system was already strained before any of this. It is now under conditions it was never designed to endure. Here in New York, our primary station power has gone down twice in the last 15 minutes. We're currently running on backup generation. We do not know how long that will remain stable. Let's go to the phones. We have a caller in Upper Manhattan. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Michael, the power just dropped on our whole block maybe 10 minutes ago. Everything. Streetlights, apartments, stores, all at once. And then we saw blue light moving between the buildings. Not fast, slow. Like it was searching.
Searching how?
Like a beam, but not a spotlight. Wider than that. Softer, but somehow scarier. It passed over the side of the building across from us, and every apartment window lit up blue for a second. Then people started screaming from somewhere down the block.
Did you see anyone on the street with the beam? Any actual figures?
Not at first. We heard this weird metallic sound outside. Not clanking, not footsteps exactly, more like something heavy settling with control. Then my neighbor looked down from the stairwell window and said there were 3 of them in the intersection.
3 of what?
The beings. I didn't want to look. I looked anyway. They were tall, taller than any person, but not bulky like monsters from a movie, more like soldiers in sealed armor. The armor looked smooth and dark, and there were lines on it glowing faintly. They were holding something. Weapons, I guess. Nobody fired. Nobody ran near them. People just backed away.
How are they moving?
Calm. That's what made it awful. Calm. They didn't rush. They didn't shout. They didn't look confused. They moved like they had already done this 1,000 times somewhere else.
Did they enter any buildings?
Not while I was looking. One of them raised its arm, and that blue beam went across the block again. Then a car alarm started screaming and died instantly.
Stay away from windows if you can. Stay low, keep quiet, keep listening. Thank you.
Like they had already done this 1,000 times somewhere else. That's the line that sticks there.
Yes, not discovery, not improvisation, occupation procedure. That is what people are describing. Hey, can we pause for just a second?
Yeah, just real quick. First, if you're still here with us, seriously, thank you. That means a lot. You could be anywhere right now, and the fact that you choose to spend your time inside these stories with us, we don't take that lightly.
Exactly. A lot of time, work, and honestly, a lot of heart goes into building these worlds for you. Every outbreak, every collapse, every late-night transmission.
And because of how these stories are made, sometimes we can't always go as far as we want to here.
That's why we created our Patreon. It's where we upload our full, uncut, ad-free stories. The raw versions, exactly the way we originally imagined them.
If you love getting lost in these long realism stories, the kind that let you escape reality for a while and disappear into another world, that's really what Patreon is built for.
Members also get early access to upcoming episodes. And honestly, one of our favorite parts, you can suggest story ideas. And some of those ideas end up becoming future broadcasts.
No pressure at all. We're just grateful you're here, listening.
All right. Radio back on.
We've got another caller. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm in D.C., not far from the capital, and people are running, but not in one direction. That's the problem. Nobody knows where safety is supposed to be. And now there are troops, not ours, not human, standing in places where you'd expect checkpoints.
You've seen them directly?
Yes. 2 at the mouth of a street near a federal building. Cars turned around before getting close. Nobody wanted to test what would happen. They didn't wave anybody forward or back. They just stood there. And somehow that was enough.
Are there still human authorities present?
Scattered. Police, some military vehicles earlier, but the human side looks overwhelmed, like they're moving because they have training, but they know the training no longer fits the situation.
That's a devastating way to put it.
It's true. And there's another thing. I saw one of the smaller craft lower over a government building, and then rise again, and not long after that, people were saying some officials inside were gone. Not dead. Gone.
Removed?
That's what everybody's saying. I know rumors are dangerous, but there are too many of them matching up now.
Are people still trying to leave the city?
Constantly. But roads are turning into parking lots. Some people are abandoning cars and going on foot. Some are trying the metro and finding stations shut or jammed. It's like the city is becoming harder to move through by design.
Thank you for calling. Stay safe.
That's a crucial detail. Movement itself may now be part of the weapon. Not direct violence, but strategic immobility. Trap the population inside its own systems.
Michael, my phone just lit up for half a second. I had one message come through from my sister, and then it vanished.
Can you read any of it?
Just, Mom's with me. We're trying. And then it cut. That's all I got. It disappeared before I could even reply.
All right, breathe. That at least tells you they were together at the moment the message was sent.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to hold on to that.
You're doing fine.
We've got another caller. Go ahead.
Michael, I'm in a hospital in Brooklyn with my father. The backup power came on after the main power failed, but everybody's terrified it won't hold. People on my floor are talking about seeing blue flashes through the windows,
and some staff got told to move critical patients away from external rooms.
Are they explaining why?
No one wants to say. A nurse whispered that those things are scanning buildings. Another guy said they're identifying leadership or vulnerable groups or who knows what. Nobody knows. That's what's killing people, Michael, not knowing.
Are there actual sightings near the hospital?
Yes. Someone from maintenance came in pale as a sheet and said one of the beings was right outside the ambulance bay. Didn't attack, didn't move for a minute, just stood there while the lights flickered.
And the hospital's still receiving patients?
Constantly, but not from alien weapons, at least not directly. Panic, stress, old people collapsing, people injured trying to flee, asthma attacks, children hysterical, people wandering in because they think hospitals are safe no matter what. The staff look like they're breaking, but still functioning somehow.
That's extraordinary work under impossible circumstances. Thank you for calling. Stay with your father.
We've heard from emergency workers, hospitals, police families, military spouses, office workers, drivers, everyone caught in the machinery of normal life, while that normal life is being peeled apart, layer by layer.
And now that machinery is failing faster. We've got reports from multiple boroughs of elevators stopped, ATM systems down, internet dark in large chunks, and water pressure concerns beginning in some high-rises as grid instability spreads.
We have one more caller in this segment. Go ahead, you're on Red Zone Radio.
Jenny, I'm a transit worker. I don't want to say more than that. People need to know the system is not collapsing because we forgot how to do our jobs. It's collapsing because the control layers keep dropping out. Signals, switching, communication, coordination. Everything keeps flickering.
So it's not one giant failure all at once. It's 1,000 linked failures.
Exactly. And the public sees a train stop or the line go dark, and they think somebody made a bad call. No, we are losing the invisible systems that make cities possible. That's what's happening.
Are workers being evacuated?
Some aren't. Some are staying because if they leave, more people get stranded. And the worst part is, the tunnels don't feel safe either. Not anymore. You used to think underground meant protected. Now it just feels like another place the lights can go out.
Thank you. That's important context.
And there it is. The invisible systems that make cities possible. Maybe that's the real front line now. Not tanks, not jets. Coordination itself. Once coordination goes, a modern city becomes a maze full of frightened people. It is now impossible to describe this as an aerial event alone. Ground occupation is underway in major urban centers. Multiple cities are reporting large troop carriers or landing craft descending into parks, plazas, transport hubs, and open civic spaces. In New York, the most repeated location coming in from listeners is Central Park.
Let that sink in for a second. Central Park, one of the most recognizable places in this city, is now being described by witnesses as an alien staging ground. People are watching something like an army establish itself in the heart of Manhattan.
Martial law has been declared in several areas, but the practical meaning of that is getting thinner by the hour. Human military enforcement is not controlling events in the way governments would have hoped. Strategic points, communications nodes, bridges, tunnels, power infrastructure, government sites appear to be falling under alien oversight faster than human authorities can react.
We're also now hearing about what listeners and scattered officials are calling collection centers, areas where civilians are being directed, herded, or pressured into grouping under alien supervision. We don't fully know their purpose. The reports suggest these forces are not killing indiscriminately, but they are using overwhelming force against resistance or refusal.
That distinction is becoming the whole terror. Not chaos, administration. A conquering force that wants human beings alive enough to process, sort, control, and govern.
Michael, I got another fragment through just before the signal dropped again, from my sister. It only said, "We left the highway, heading north. No location, no follow-up."
That's something. It means they're moving. It means they may have escaped the worst of the road gridlock. I'm trying not to build a whole fantasy out of 6 words. Don't. Just hold the 6 words. That's enough.
We've got calls stacking up. Let's go to one now. Manhattan, you're on. Michael, I'm on the Upper West Side, and people are saying the park is gone. Not gone physically, but gone for us. You can see lights over it, columns of blue light, and these huge dark shapes lowering in and out of the tree line. Nobody near here thinks it belongs to the city anymore.
Can you describe the activity?
There are carriers, or ships, I don't know what to call them, coming down and staying low. Then smaller groups move out in every direction, some on foot, some floating just above the ground on platforms or something. It looks organized. This isn't random landing. This is deployment.
Have civilians been approached?
Not directly where I am, but people who got too close came running back. One guy said he saw humans being lined up in rows near one of the entrances, not hurt, just separated and scanned or cataloged.
Cataloged.
That's the word he used, like inventory. Michael, do you understand how disgusting that feels to hear about people?
I do. Unfortunately, I do.
My building is trying to decide whether we all stay in separate apartments or gather in the basement together. Nobody knows what makes more sense. Isolation feels dangerous. Crowds feel dangerous. Everything feels wrong.
If you can stay with people you trust while keeping noise low and supplies together, that may be better than being alone. But use your judgment based on your building and what you're actually seeing. Thank you for calling.
That choice, alone or together, is ripping through the city right now, and there may not be one correct answer.
We have another caller. Go ahead.
Jenny, I was in Times Square less than an hour ago. I don't know why I was still out. I think some part of me kept wanting proof my brain could accept. Well, I got it. The place is occupied. I mean that literally. Troops everywhere. Craft above the billboards. Streets half empty because everyone who could run already did.
How close did you get?
Close enough to see their armor clearly. Smooth plates, no seams I could make out, and the face area wasn't a face, more like a dark, reflective surface. And the way they moved around each other, no hesitation, no confusion, no wasted motion. You know how human crowds look messy even when organized. This wasn't messy.
Did they engage anyone?
I saw one person run, maybe panic, maybe trying to get around them. A beam flashed and he dropped. Not dead, I don't think dead, but like his whole body locked up. Two of them carried him away. That's when I turned and left.
So force is being used, but selectively.
Yeah, and that may be worse for morale. People keep hoping they're not killing everyone means something good. It doesn't feel good. It feels like rules are being applied to us by somebody who doesn't think we matter.
That's sharply put. Thank you for calling.
We've also received reports that blue scanning beams are sweeping residential buildings in multiple cities, including sections of New York. Listeners keep using words like cataloging, locating, sorting, indexing. These are bureaucratic words, administrative words. It sounds less like invasion movies and more like the first day under a terrible news system.
And Red Zone Radio may now be under direct watch. Staff on lower floors are reporting a low, hovering craft above the building. We do not know if it's because of our broadcast or because everything in Midtown is under surveillance, but we're no longer assuming we're invisible.
Staff discussion has shifted from whether to evacuate to when. That's the honest truth. Some want to leave now while stairs are still open and before this block is sealed. Others think going outside may be more dangerous than staying. We are continuing to broadcast for the moment.
Let's go back to the phones. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Michael, my husband and I are in an apartment building in Hell's Kitchen, and the blue light just swept our hallway from outside somehow. Not through the window, through the wall or the door gap, I don't know. We all froze. My neighbor started whispering everyone's names like he thought if he kept saying them, he could keep us human.
That's heartbreaking. Did anything happen after the scan?
Someone downstairs started pounding on doors, telling people not to make noise, not to use flashlights near windows, not to go onto roofs. Then we heard this hum outside, low and constant, and the whole building felt like it vibrated.
Any sign they were entering the building?
Not yet, but it felt like being noticed. That's what I keep coming back to. Not attacked. Not yet. Noticed.
That may be the defining feeling of this occupation. Thank you for calling.
We have one more call. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm calling from Brooklyn. My family was trying to get out earlier, but we turned back when everything locked up. Now we're hearing that they're setting up gathering points in schools and public buildings. Do we go? Do we avoid them? Nobody knows if those are safe or if they're traps.
I can't responsibly tell people to report to unknown collection sites without verified information. I also can't tell people to ignore official instructions if those instructions become the difference between being isolated and being supplied. That's the awful position we're in.
My mother wants to follow directions. My brother says never trust occupiers. My kids are hungry. I'm trying to make decisions while history is ending in the background.
History may not be ending, but it is changing so violently that the distinction probably doesn't comfort you right now.
No, it doesn't. But hearing you two still here helps more than you know.
Stay together. Whatever you choose. Don't split the family if you can avoid it. Thank you for calling.
That was the most ordinary, impossible sentence I've heard tonight. I'm trying to make decisions while history is ending in the background. That is what millions are doing. Parenting, caring for elders, filling water containers, arguing in stairwells, watching the sky disappear behind occupation craft. There is a new word entering the national conversation, and unlike all the others today, this one is giving people something they have been starving for. The word is resistance.
It would be irresponsible to romanticize it. Whatever is forming out there is fragmented, underarmed, frightened, and facing a force with incomprehensible technological superiority. But it exists. We are now getting repeated reports of military remnants, veterans, first responders, amateur radio operators, and civilians organizing survival networks, information chains, and localized defensive actions.
The first phase of invasion was meant to make humanity feel small, separate, trackable, and doomed. Resistance changes one thing immediately. It reminds people that they are still choosing how to respond.
We have also received our first recurring technical rumor, with enough repetition to mention carefully. Listeners and some former service members are claiming that electromagnetic disruption, localized pulses, improvised or otherwise, may temporarily destabilize alien shielding or sensor systems. We do not know the limits of that, and we are not presenting it as a miracle. But the idea that these forces have weaknesses at all has spread fast.
Rural areas are also emerging in the reporting as possible temporary gaps in alien concentration. Not safe zones exactly, but lower priority zones. It appears major urban centers and strategic infrastructure were the initial focus. That matters for people trying to understand the map of this new reality.
Internationally, we're hearing that survivors and holdouts are beginning to communicate through improvised channels across borders. Resistance cells in Europe, parts of South America, and sections of Asia are reportedly sending burst transmissions when they can. So despite global blackout conditions, the human network is not gone.
Our own signal has dropped twice in the last 12 minutes. If you lose us and get us back, that's what's happening. Jamming, interference, unstable power, maybe all of the above.
We're going to the phones. We have a caller who says he's part of an improvised network. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Jenny, I'm a former Green Beret. I'm not giving my location, and people listening shouldn't expect details that would get others killed. But I can confirm there are survivor nets operating. Radio, runners, hidden relays, people with old equipment that doesn't depend on the systems getting shut down.
Are these nets local or broader?
Both. Local first, because that's how humans survive, block by block, town by town. But we're linking where we can. Police, former military, medics, volunteer operators, farm communities, truckers, regular civilians who kept their heads and had useful gear. It's messy, but it's real.
What's the overall goal right now? Survival, intel, fighting back?
In that order. Anybody promising glorious victory tonight is a fool or a liar. Step 1 is survive and establish communication. Step 2 is learn the occupier's patterns. Step 3 is exploit whatever gaps exist. There are gaps. Not many, but they're there.
And the reports about electromagnetic pulses?
I've heard enough to say it's worth studying. Short-term disruption, not destruction. Think interference, not salvation. But if you can blind something for a few seconds, those seconds matter.
That alone will give people some hope.
Hope without discipline gets people killed. But disciplined hope, that keeps you moving.
Thank you. That may be the most useful sentence of the night.
Disciplined hope. Write that down if you can. Remember it if you can't.
We have another caller. Go ahead.
Michael, my brother is in upstate New York, and he got a message through to us using some old radio set up through neighbors. He said their town hasn't seen ground troops, just high-altitude craft. They're organizing food, fuel, and rooms for anyone who makes it there. So there are still places where people can breathe.
That's incredibly important. Are they taking in people they know only, or broader groups?
Both, from what I understand. They're being careful, but it sounds like communities outside the main urban centers are starting to realize they have to act like reception points, not just hide and hope.
That's the beginning of adaptation.
Yeah. My mother heard that message and cried, because it was the first thing all day that sounded like tomorrow might still exist.
That's powerful. Thank you.
Michael, before the next call, I need to say this out loud, because if I don't, it's going to sit in my throat all night. I keep thinking about my family heading north, and how stupid it feels that in the middle of this, one of the strongest emotions is still the ordinary one. I just want to know if they're warm, if they ate, if they're together.
That's not stupid. That's the center of the whole thing. Every military statement, every resistance rumor, every failed network, every evacuation route, it all comes back to somebody asking, are my people alive?
I know. I can feel myself splitting in half. One side is doing the job. The other side is still staring at those half-sent messages.
Then keep doing the job for the side of you that can't move right now. I'll help carry the rest.
Thank you.
We've got another caller. You're on Red Zone Radio.
Jenny, I'm in western Pennsylvania now. We left Philly hours ago. Barely made it. Roads were impossible. But once we got far enough out, things changed. Fewer craft, fewer outages, still fear, still confusion, but not the same kind of direct occupation.
That fits some of what we're hearing. Are people organizing where you are?
Yeah. Churches, volunteer fire departments, garages, farms. Not officially maybe, but practically. People are pooling generators, fuel, medical supplies, radios, printed maps. It's weird, like the future broke and the country started reaching back for older ways to stay connected.
That's an excellent way to describe it.
I've also heard from someone who said a resistance cell used an improvised pulse on a small alien patrol craft, and it dropped low for a few seconds. Didn't destroy it, but enough to scatter them. I don't know if that's true, but people want it to be true, because it means the enemy can be touched.
Sometimes what matters first is not certainty, but proof that helplessness is not total.
Exactly. That's why I called. Tell city people they're not abandoned by the rest of us. We're trying to build something out here.
Thank you for saying that.
We have one more caller before our next station check. Go ahead.
Michael, I'm still in the city. I don't know if this is resistance exactly, but our building has turned into its own little network. One apartment has medical supplies, one has extra water, one guy on 6 has battery packs, someone on 9 has a hand crank radio. We made a list in the stairwell. We're taking turns checking on elderly neighbors.
That is resistance. It may not be armed, but it is resistance. It is refusing collapse.
We don't feel brave. We feel terrified. But being terrified together is somehow better than being terrified alone.
That might be one of the most human truths ever spoken on this station.
Also, there was a broadcast earlier, maybe official, maybe not. A voice claiming to be the president from an undisclosed location. It was short, mostly static, but I heard one line clearly. We endure.
We've heard that too, from multiple directions, though we can't fully authenticate it. But if those words are genuine, they're the best official message anyone's managed today.
It helped, just hearing someone say endurance instead of surrender.
Thank you for calling.
Endurance. Disciplined hope. Old radios. Stairwell supply lists. That's what the human response sounds like tonight.
Not victory speeches, not movie heroics. Lists, routes, supplies, messages carried farther than they should be able to travel. Maybe that's how species survive something like this. Not in one giant act of defiance, but in millions of small refusals to disappear.
Signal check from our engineer says jamming in this area is intensifying. We may lose strength again soon.
If you are hearing this, then for the moment at least, Red Zone Radio is still transmitting. I want to be direct now in a way I maybe wasn't earlier, because there is no use preserving softer language. Alien forces are inside our building.
Staff on lower floors made visual contact minutes ago. We can hear movement below us. Not human movement. Not confused movement. Deliberate entry. Whatever shield of anonymity a radio station once had is gone. Either they have triangulated active transmissions in the area, or this whole district is being cleared floor by floor.
Some staff have already left through emergency stairs in pairs. Others chose to stay one floor down, trying to keep the remaining equipment running for as long as possible. Nobody here thinks in terms of safety anymore. Only time.
We made the decision together a few minutes ago. We are staying on air until we physically can't.
We are not saying that to sound noble. We're saying it because a voice on the radio may still matter to people right now, maybe more than it ever did on any normal day in this station's history.
We've got one caller we've spoken to twice in fragments already, and the line somehow just reconnected. We're taking it. Go ahead.
Michael? Michael, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're on the air.
I'm in a basement with my family. We've got one flashlight and this little emergency radio, and my dad said maybe your station would still be on. I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to call. I'm just really scared.
You don't ever need to apologize for calling tonight. What's your first name?
Emma.
Emma? How old are you?
11.
All right, Emma. You're doing great already. Where are you calling from generally? Don't be too specific if your parents don't want that.
In Manhattan. Downtown somewhere. My mom says don't say the street.
Your mom is right. Is everybody with you okay?
My little brother won't stop crying. My dad keeps checking the door upstairs. My mom says we have to stay quiet because there's blue light outside sometimes, and we don't know what that means.
That makes sense. Staying quiet is smart if that's what the situation calls for. Do you have water down there?
Yes, and crackers, and blankets. My mom grabbed medicine too.
Good. That is very good. You and your family are doing exactly what you should be doing right now.
Are you scared?
Yes, I am. But talking helps me stay useful, and being useful helps with fear.
My dad said if people are still talking on the radio, then the world isn't gone all the way. Is that true?
I think that is one of the truest things I've heard all day.
Okay.
Emma, keep close to your family. Keep listening if you can. And remember that scared does not mean helpless. It just means you know this matters.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Emma.
I think half this city just adopted that kid in their hearts.
Yeah, I think so too.
We're getting reports now of explosions across Manhattan. Not wide area bombardment, but bursts connected to pockets of resistance. Whether those are human devices, alien countermeasures, or power failures turning violent, we can't say for certain. But the city outside is no longer just occupied. It is contesting itself.
My phone's dead now. Fully dead. Doesn't matter how many times I press the button. Nothing. I had one last message from Brooklyn hours ago that just said, "We're moving." I've read that sentence so many times in my head it doesn't feel like words anymore.
I'm sorry.
You too.
My phone rang once a minute ago. I answered on instinct and could barely hear anything. Then I heard my sister's voice, just for a few seconds. She said they were in a convoy heading north, traffic broken up, some back roads. Mom was asleep in the seat, and she left me. Then the line tore apart.
That's enough to keep going on.
It has to be.
We've got another caller. Go ahead.
Jenny, I'm in Harlem, and there's fighting out there. Not big military fighting. Smaller. Humans hitting and running. Lights going down. One of those patrol things crashed or dipped low near the avenue, and people started cheering like they couldn't believe it. Then everybody ran because 2 more showed up. So some kind of resistance action is happening nearby. Yeah, and even though it was brief, hearing people cheer did something to the whole block. Like all day we've been shrinking, getting quieter, getting smaller. For 1 second, we got bigger again. That matters. Morale is not a side issue. It's part of survival. There's smoke now, but also weirdly more voices. People coming out to help pull someone into a doorway, handing water, pointing strangers towards safer buildings. It's ugly and brave at the same time. Thank you. That's important to hear.
Staff update. They are at the studio door now.
We can hear it.
There's a hammering sound. Maybe not literal hammering, more like pressure on the frame. Something mechanical, something cutting. We're staying with you.
We've got another call coming through, and I don't know how, but we're taking it. Go ahead.
Michael, I've been listening all day from Queens. I just wanted to say thank you. My husband and I have 2 elderly parents in the apartment with us, and all day your voices have kept the rooms from becoming pure panic. Even when the news got worse, it helped to hear people saying the truth out loud.
Thank you for saying that. It means more than you know.
People think hope has to be big speeches. Sometimes hope is just somebody not lying to you.
That's beautifully said.
Also, our neighbor has a shortwave set and says there are safe gathering points being whispered about north of the city. I know you can't verify it all, but if you have anything like that, say it while you can.
We do have a partial list from multiple unconfirmed but repeated reports. I'm going to read what we can responsibly share in broad terms, not precise enough to expose people, but enough to help directionally. Listeners are reporting relative safety, regrouping, or aid pockets north of the city in scattered Hudson Valley communities, portions of western Connecticut, and farther inland routes away from major highways. Avoid choke points if you can. Avoid obvious mass routes if you cannot confirm they are clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
We have one more call. Quickly, go ahead.
Jenny, this is maybe the last time I get through. I'm in a service corridor under a building in Midtown with 6 other people. We've got a former EMT, 2 kids, an older couple, and one guy who says he was a radio tech. He wants me to tell you that if this station goes down, frequencies don't die. People will find the space you leave behind.
That radio tech is right.
Tell whoever's listening not to think silence means nobody's left. Sometimes silence just means the next voice is moving into place.
That is exactly right. Thank you.
The door is starting to give.
You can hear the frame.
All right, listen carefully now, everyone. If you are still mobile and still hidden and still choosing where to go, prioritize distance from obvious strategic sites. Stay away from visible patrol paths. Travel small. Travel quiet. Keep children close. Keep written information with you if your devices fail. If you know of a local building network, stairwell supply list, church basement, volunteer firehouse, farm route, old radio relay, those things matter now. The age of invisible convenience is gone. The age of human relay has returned.
And if you are trapped, if you are hiding, if you are in the dark hearing sounds outside that do not belong to your old life, remember this. Fear does not mean you have already lost. Fear means your body understands the truth and still wants to live.
To every listener who stayed with us today, from the first strange objects in the sky to this moment, we have heard you. The frightened, the skeptical, the parents, the workers, the spouses, the drivers, the medics, the kids in basements, the people staring out apartment windows trying to decide what world they woke up in. You were never crazy. You were witnessing history tear open.
And you are still here.
If this is our last transmission, let it carry something useful. You are not alone. Humanity is not finished because cities fell silent. Humanity is not finished because better weapons arrived. Humanity survives in memory, in care, in resistance, in the refusal to become inventory. If they want a compliant species, then every act of courage, every act of mercy, every act of human stubbornness becomes its own rebellion.
The lock is breaking.
This is Michael Hale.
And Jenny.
For Red Zone Radio. Stay alive, keep each other human, and static.